All right, Crispy. Okay, can we do the intro, please? Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready, Troy. Are you ready?
I'm ready, buddy. There's the drums. Are you guys ready? This is the most repetitive intro we've ever done because this is like the 5th take, but we're here to talk about Guardians, so let's just do it. Let's just do it. Roll the intro. Roll it.
Hello and welcome back to Who's There, a Guardians of the Galaxy podcast, a show where we talk about the best Marvel film franchise ever? Question mark? I'm your host, Crispy Pro, and joining me, as always in these special episodes, is Troy Red Archer Live. How are you, sir?
I'm really good, buddy. I'm really good. I'm ready to cry again. How about you?
Yeah, I shed a tear recently during my movie watching of this film.
I too shed a tear for the first time in 50 years. It was a momentous
50
moment.
years.
Yeah.
My goodness. Hang on, my chair keeps on slowly falling down. I don't know if you've noticed how I'm gradually getting shorter.
You're just falling into quicksand.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe.
Oh.
Maybe. It could be. It could be.
This is the new
How many
ongoing
times have you
bit.
seen this film, Troy?
Twice.
Upon a Time?
Yes.
Nice. No, I've only seen it the once, but it's pretty fresh in my mind. I saw it on Sunday night.
I can't believe you didn't go. You didn't go to the red carpet thing this time, or whatever it's called. You and your girlfriend go to every time, and then make me annoyed.
The advanced screenings on Wednesday night. No, we didn't. I don't know why we didn't.
Actually, that's what my mum and I did this time. We got an advanced screening on Wednesday night. I said it wasn't really an advanced screening. Cheeky. It was just that the UK somehow got it like everywhere on Wednesday. Like even the posters in some of the cinemas said comes out May 3rd rather than May 5th, and I was like, okay.
I'll take that. No worries. I
remember ye olden days where Endgame was going to get like a week early access on in the UK, and then I think Disney quickly realised how stupid of an idea that was, and then brought the US release date forward to like match it. Which was bad to think, but no. So yeah, I have seen this film twice. If that's an illustration of how much I've liked it, it's not even been out for a week, and I've seen it twice in cinemas. So,
Crikey.
Do you know
Crikey
what?
Moses.
Do you know what?
What, mate?
Let's start off with a score out of 10. Let's set a precedent for what we think of Guardians of the Galaxy.
You always throw me when we do these at the start.
3.
I haven't even gathered my thoughts of the Galaxy.
Well, you know what? You can always change it at the end, but let's get you hot off the press.
Okay, the initial right off the press. Okay.
An hour after you've seen it, 100%. We're definitely not recording this
an hour
on Tuesday
after...
evening for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I'm in that headset.
A score out of 10 for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. 3, 2, 1, score.
An 8.5.
An 8.5. Oh,
yeah,
you've got
not?
More issues with this film than I have, clearly.
Why, what are you giving it, a 10?
9.5. I really want to give it a 10.
It's not that far. There's 1 point difference between us.
I want to give it a 10, but out of principle for my one tiny issue with the film, I feel like a 10 would be a bit disingenuous, but I kind of want to say 10 anyway, just because of how much I love it. So
okay. Interesting. All right. Well,
yeah. Well, when you texted
thanks for listening, guys.
Let me find your text, because you said something, and I was like, ooh.
I think I tried to be ominous because I didn't want to reveal all my thoughts initially.
He said,
and leave you pondering.
Saw Guardians, AAA, I have thoughts, cloud emoji, jube. Are we recording on Tuesday night?
Yeah.
There was a swear word in the middle of jube, but I'm not reading that out because we're family friendly. So, what are your thoughts, Crispy? Give us your thoughts to begin with. What do you think of the film?
I didn't know what to expect. First of all, I've been a fan of James Gunn's work. I really like him as a director. I like his visual style, his visual flair. I like his comedy for the most part. I really, really do enjoy that. So going into this, I was like, I know it's going to be a guaranteed good time. I've heard nothing but good things for it. But yeah, going into it, I just didn't expect it to be so heavy, I guess. It's a very dark film. Like, it's a very, like, grown-up take on the Guardians, which I can completely respect because, you know, we've kind of grown up with these characters. I didn't realize that, you know, the first Guardians was 2014. That's a long time ago. Long time ago. So watching this film, going into it, I wasn't sure what to expect, but I think it looks beautiful. I think the cast were excellent. I really enjoyed a lot of the performances in there, and I don't know. I don't know what you want me to narrow in on right now, Troy.
Everything. I want every detail. I want a video essay. I want a video essay right now on the Crispy Pro Show.
Okay. Okay, well...
That was a joke. You don't have to do a video essay right now. You're okay. You're okay.
I can try. There's some... I don't know. I've got some gripes with it, but overall, I just had a really, really good time with it. And I think, the secret protagonist of all of these Guardians films was Rocket, and I didn't realize it at all. And, that ever since watching the film, I just see on Twitter people being like, oh, wow, this scene hits so much harder now. This scene hits so much harder now. And I'm like, wow, I never really took that into consideration. And exploring Rocket's backstory and the tragedy and seeing just the horrendous stuff that went on was very engaging to me. That was the part of the story I was more interested in, I think. But it all kind of linked up anyway. So... But yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed the film, and people say the MCU's dead. I mean, they've still got bangers like this. What are you on about?
This is the thing. And I tweeted this, I think, literally yesterday, where it's like, it's not that the MCU fell off after Endgame. It's just that you stopped caring. Like, people who go, oh, the MCU fell off. That's not down to the MCU. That's down to people's tastes changing and going, do you know what? I've seen Endgame. I've clocked off now. I'm not bothered about watching another 10 years of Marvel and seeing where it all builds to. Like, someone like me, I'm invested. I want to see where it goes. I like the stuff they've been putting out, and I think some of Marvel's best stuff has come out after Endgame. Like, Spider-Man No Way Home and now Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 are both in my top 5 MCU films, and they're post-Endgame. So,
yeah, wow.
Like, they're both phenomenal. That's how much I like Guardians 3. So, in case you hadn't done that.
Spoiler alert.
I mean, if I look at my Letterboxd, because apparently I have closed that tab for some reason, because I'm actually using it properly now, and it's very cool. Where did I rank it? Let me just see, because if it's not in my top 5, I'm going to immediately fix that. Let's see, where did I put it?
Can you do TV shows on Letterboxd?
You can, yeah. It's currently 7th, but there are 2 TV shows in front of it, so technically it's 5th. But
what are those 2 TV shows?
WandaVision and Loki. I think I need to rewatch some of this stuff and reorder it, because I feel like WandaVision, while I really like it, is probably a lot based on the hype of the time, because it was like the biggest, like the MCU TV show everyone loved. No, I'm not saying I didn't like it. It's still one of my favourite things in the MCU. But I'm like, in compared to Guardians 3, I don't know. A lot of it might be the hype of the time.
I'm very biased on WandaVision, because I honestly think that's probably one of my favourite Marvel projects.
Well, I probably put Loki before WandaVision. That's why I'm like, I'm like, Anyway, so the other thing is, 4th place I put Avengers Age of Ultron. That seems a little high.
Very high.
Yeah, that seems a little bit high. I think it's probably like my 4th favourite film. I'm going to put it 4th favourite film for Guardians 3. So, do you know what? Let's do something interesting. You said you had some gripes. This is a safe space. Let's air out your gripes, and then let's talk about what we liked about it. So, Crispy, what were your gripes with the film?
Well, for like 80% of this movie, I genuinely think the jokes landed, and it was very like tonally correct. Like, it was really, really good. But there were some times when I wish it would have been more serious. That was my main problem. We're going right to the end of the film here.
Spoilers, by the way. We are going to be spoilers in this. We should have said that by
territory.
Now. Han Solo dies.
I love the third act of this film. I like the Nebula and Mantis and Drax all getting stuck on and like all of that going down, and them having to free the children and having to free the animals and all that. I love that. I was like, yes, because you're rooting for them. You're really like, come on, guys, let's do this.
All the animals coming up to shit.
I said that. I was like, oh wow, it's Noah's Ark.
I thought that. My mum said it to me during the preach, like, Noah's Ark. I was just thinking that.
Yeah, exactly. But because since this is the 3rd installment and a lot of contracts are up, I didn't really know what the future of these Guardians characters were. I thought someone was going to die. Spoiler alert, I don't think anyone died.
No Guardians died, which is probably one of the best things about this film.
Which is why. And I was all for it. But they made it look in that one scene that Peter Quill wasn't going to make it. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, about to tear up. And then he goes into space, starts, freezing up. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to lose him exactly like we lost Yondu. And this is going to be very emotional. It's going to be very hard. And then they do like the funny thing where his like face all puffs up, but it's like, and then at the end he's like, oh, did that look cool or something like that? I was like, come on, that was like a really tense scene. You could have had me like on edge thinking that Peter Quill was going to die, but it was kind of like played for a laugh at the end there. I was like, oh, come on. But that's like my one gripe.
Really? I'm surprised at that bit in particular, because the thing with me is my big gripe, I don't know whether you agree with me on this, my big gripe is Adam Warlock. because
I thought about that too.
I really like Will Powder's Adam Warlock. I think the baby thing is going to be a bit of a Marmite character, I reckon, for some people. Some people are not going to enjoy the kind of like he's a kid fresh out of the womb kind of behaviour, but I thought it was quite funny for the way they did it, you know. Showing we mean business literally incinerates him. But what could we have shown more than that? You know, I quite liked that. I thought it was good.
I really enjoyed it.
But it felt like he was barely in the film. Considering he was set up in Guardians 2 as like the next villain, basically, it feels like Afterthought feels a bit unfair, but it feels like he was kind of there because he was set up in the credits scene. Like, most of the film could have gone ahead exactly the same without him being there. But linking it
100%.
to Star-Lord specifically, they just like rescued him, and Groot said everyone deserves a second chance, and I was like, right, so he's going to do something good towards the end of the film and he'll get his redemption bit. So as soon as Peter got stuck out in space, I went to get upset, and then I went, no, Adam, come on, Adam Warlock's going to save him. Where's Adam? And then literally, like, it started to get towards his face flowing, and I was like, Adam, where's Adam? And then he like come out. I love that they recreated that the god touching man painting as he goes to get it. That was brilliant. But yeah, like as soon as Adam got there, I was like, oh. And then I did think for a sec maybe he'd saved him too late, but that would have undermined the kind of the redemption for Adam. I feel like if he didn't get there fast enough. So for me that didn't land. For me, I was honestly more worried about Drax/Rocket because actually, just full transparency, I went into this film thinking that I knew Drax was going to die. Because every day, the Guardians' Twitter was like posting videos of a different character and going, you know, he's come so far, here's Drax, Nebula has gone from villain to hero, blah, blah, blah. And they put one out for Drax, and someone replied underneath it saying, I'm going to laugh when he dies in this film. And I was like, oh, someone's being goofy, they're just having a bit of a muck around. And then someone replied to that reply and said, dude, if you've read those plot leaks for Guardians 3, at least don't post them on Twitter. And I was like, oh no. Oh no.
Oh dear.
Oh no. Yeah, so I honestly took that as verbatim and thought it meant that Drax died. And I was like... And then when he gets shot twice, because there were a couple of fake-out deaths in the film, which, you know... But, like, when he gets shot twice, I was like... Oh no. I was like, but, like, there's bits later in the film where he's in his uniform, so, like, surely he's not going to die here, and then he didn't. And he got through. I was fully expecting someone to die by the end of it. I did think at one point when Mantis went to tame the creatures, the Abelisks, something they called, that one of them was just going to eat her. I would have been like a bit like Polka Dot Man in Suicide Squad, where he's like, I'm a superhero!
Straight up, yeah.
Like, I thought she was going to try and do something like that again, but they didn't, thankfully. So I went in thinking that Drax was going to die, and I'm very glad that he didn't. Rocket got me a little bit, because I thought, it was like, surely he's not going to die, but it was very Deadpool 2-esque when it was like, you know, it's not your time yet. He got to kind of like make peace with people from the afterlife and then get whisked back. Although Rocket wasn't told not to sleep with Elvis, so slightly different tonally. But
yes, correct.
But I thought that the fake out deaths were a little bit but it was mainly I think because of the trailers. The trailers had set up, you know, Rocket being like, I'm done running, so you knew he was going to be getting to that point. And because I remember lots of bits from trailers, that was the only thing that let it down in that element. But that didn't bother me. It was just I felt like there wasn't enough Adam, and that's the reason there not being enough Adam. Why it's not 10 out of 10, it's 9.5. Because if there'd just been a little bit more of him, then I would have whacked it up to a 10, but it just feels like he wasn't there enough. I don't know. You know?
Oh, no, that's fair. I mean, one scene that really got me was when I thought we were going to lose Rocket. I was like, are they gonna play this? And then it's just like a revenge thing at the end. I was like, is that Act 3? We're just gonna go all out revenge. But I'm really glad that Rocket got his justice. What was the name of the villain?
The High Evolutionary.
The High Evolutionary, and I don't know how to pronounce the act that plays
Chukwudi Iwuji.
Nkudi Gatwa.
No, shut up.
But no, I'm bad at
he is.
Bad at saying
need
names.
to remind you, in case you've forgotten, Chukwudi Iwuji of the Impossible Astronaut fame
is in Doctor Who, my favourite.
Yeah, he has a couple of lines in your favourite
in
Doctor
my
Who
favourite episode.
Yeah, that was like it's so crazy.
Did you see the interview Karen Gillan did?
Yeah, you get. Oh yes, that's not the first time he's acted with Karen Gillan. I just realised that as well.
Did you see the interview where they addressed that with Karen?
No.
Oh, it's so funny. And she's like, what? I don't remember this. It's funny.
Wow, so she was high and mighty above Chukwudi. Oh, Karen,
like,
naughty.
What? Naughty. She was like, because they were talking about some dialogue, and they're like, oh yeah, and then he says to Amy Pond, and she's like, what? To me? I don't remember that.
Mr. President, that man walked in here with a big blue box and three of his friends.
Yeah, Mark Sheppard.
Yeah, Mark Sheppard.
But back to the High Evolutionary. What a villain. One thing I bloody loved, and I think this would be a good idea for a future Doctor Who podcast episode, by the way, is a lot of these Marvel movies, like the universe is at stake. A lot of the universe is at stake, but this one is just a guy being like a real, you know? So
Can we say
I don't know
that?
if we can say that. Yeah, it's Richard. But
A real Richard.
A real Richard.
A real
And
Richard D. Carrier of Clever Dick Films fame. There we go.
Yes, there it is. Yeah,
He's going to make a documentary on the Chris Pratt years of Guardians of the Galaxy. That's it.
Correct.
There
Absolutely
you go. Now
correct.
decensored it.
But yeah, I genuinely loved that aspect of it. I thought it was an incredible performance. Like, real, like I believed everything. I believed everything, and I love seeing little Rocket grow up, and I love seeing that redemption arc for Rocket, and I loved Rocket being able to save the animals at the end and finding out he was in fact a raccoon.
Yeah, and then him saying Rocket Raccoon. It felt like such a James Bond, like done for the audience kind of thing, but I loved it. Because we've known from the start, anyone who like remotely knows he's called Rocket Raccoon. Anyone who's seen Guardians in anything else.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh wow, so he realizes a raccoon, then he goes, the name's Rocket, and I'm like, don't you say, he's going to say it, Rocket Raccoon, and I was like,
Oh my gosh!
Like an Avengers Assemble for Guardians. It was great. It was beautiful.
No, it was really, really well done. I genuinely had a good time with this movie. It delivered a lot in my books. It really did. I thought it was visually stunning too. It looked great.
Oh, the visual effects were top tier.
James Gunn has this like weird aesthetic to his. I don't know how to explain it, but his stylization across all this film, not just Marvel, like DC, everything, they have this little visual flair, and I'm like, wow, very good, Mr. Gunn.
He has quite literally become my favorite director. I feel like.
Oh,
There's one film he did a few years ago called Brightburn that I've not seen and my mum has seen. I'm going to watch that because I really want to see it. But like, I've loved all three Guardians films. I loved the Suicide Squad. Peacemaker was amazing. Like, everything I've seen of James Gunn's, I've absolutely loved. And as you said, he's got that very specific style and like that care that he puts into things. I just love. And the idea that he's going to be doing like DC now and like making a Superman movie, like, he might make me care a lot more about DC than I have in the past. Because I like DC, but I mean, I still haven't seen Man of Steel or Zack Snyder's Justice League. So that tells you how invested I am in that universe.
You haven't seen Man of Steel or Zack Snyder's Justice League?
I haven't seen Man of Steel. Yeah, or Zack Snyder. To be fair, I'm waiting on my mum to watch that with me. We kind of said we were going to watch it together, so we haven't just got around to it because it is a 4-hour film. Finding time for that is not easy. So eventually we'll get around to it. I watched it
day one.
I'm so sorry. Well, I've said to her, like, the plan is that we're going to watch it before The Flash comes out. So
yeah, okay.
That's the idea. I don't know if that's going to be our next special episode, but...
yeah, very well could be.
The Flash is apparently 3 hours long.
Oh, crikey.
I saw that on Odeon. Gosh. I swear I read on like the Odeon thing that The Flash is going to be 3 hours long, which... Really? Does it need to be that long?
Guardians was two and a bit. Two minutes.
True, but what is the Flash
I don't know.
What is the Flash even following up from? I mean, like, it's the end of the DC EU, but it's not exactly like it has that much to go off, because it's been a bit of a continuity nightmare.
Soft reboot end thing. I don't know what it is. Anyway, we're not talking DC. We're talking Guardians.
Well, to link it, James Gunn said it was really good. There you go.
Yeah, and so did Tom Cruise apparently. But anyway.
Oh, apparently it might be 2.5 hours.
Oh well, then that's Guardians length. That's fine with me.
There you go. Yeah, that's good. I was going to say if it's 3 hours, then that's no.
Troy, I have a question for you. For you. What was your favorite part of the film?
I don't know. I love seeing them in the Guardians uniforms. I love seeing them in the suits.
The costuming in this was really, really sick. I love the aesthetic.
Star-Lord without his helmet and jet boots.
Did he not wear his helmet at all in this film?
Oh, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is where Crispy realises that Star-Lord did not have his helmet once in the film, did not use his jet boots once in the film. So, James Gunn has tried to, like, explain it as he was in a rush to get off nowhere to save Rocket, so he didn't grab his helmet and jet boots, which is fine, fair. But, like, the thing I love is that I saw in a separate response somewhere else, someone went, why is he, like, what happened to his helmet? Didn't it get, he was like, it gets destroyed in Guardians 2, but then he somehow has it in Infinity War, as if to say, Russo's, what were you doing giving him the helmet back? We smashed it, why has he suddenly got it again? Which is true, like if they'd have kept it destroyed from Guardians 2, it'd be a much easier way to say he's not got a helmet anymore. But they could have made a more comic-accurate one to suit the comic-accurate suits, and that could have looked good. But
true.
Considering the legendary Star-Lord will return...
Oh yeah, I forgot about that end screen.
How do you feel about him coming back knowing that James Gunn won't be managing him?
I don't. So is that like? Oh, I assume that is kind of confirmation. Hey, that Chris Pratt will be back as Star-Lord in some capacity. I don't know. I mean, that's fine. I mean, I enjoyed like all the Guardian stuff in the Avengers films, but I suppose James Gunn had a role in those films. Yeah, with the Guardian stuff. So I don't know. I mean, I'm excited for a different direction. I honestly, Chris Pratt gets a lot of hate. I quite like him as an actor.
I think he's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I've liked him since like Parks and Rec, and so I'm happy for him. He's in a lot of billion-dollar movies.
This is the thing, yeah. Like people were kind of like dunking on him, going, he doesn't sound anything like Mario, and I was a bit worried as well. Like I was saying, he doesn't sound like Mario from the trailers. And I was like, that's the only thing that was worrying me about the Mario movie. But watching the actual movie, he's brilliant. He's really good. And then this is probably his best performance in any of the Marvel films. Like, he is...
Yeah, absolutely.
120%. His back, his spine, his legs, he's putting everything into his performance. It's amazing.
That scene where Rocket looks like he's dying, I was like, Chris Pratt is like acting his heart out right now. And it was good. It was good stuff to see.
Yeah, it was like a metaphor I remember hearing in a YouTube video. It's like he's been paid like $1 million, and he's like, I'm going to give you $4 million worth of acting.
Yeah.
He's like just putting way more into it than he probably needs to, but he's doing fantastic in the process. So he was amazing.
That's good.
But that's the other thing, is that every Guardian had something to do. Like, if you say to me,
positive.
What was the standout for this character, I could pick one out instantly. I mean, try it. Give me a random Guardian.
Cosmo the dog.
Well, the good dog, crushing the floating guy with the two.
Yes, that was great. They all had something. Groot.
I love you guys, for one thing, but also the moment with all the guns. The moment with all the guns was amazing.
I cried.
Yeah.
At the
do you know what that's about? Why we heard what he said that time? Have you seen the explanation? James Gunn's explained it. It's because we've now spent enough time with the Guardians as an audience that we now understand them the way they do.
Oh, that's cute.
Which is beautiful. Really and that means if Groot does come back, that means we might actually hear him speaking just generally from now on. And I'd love, and I said this to my mum, I realised it'd be a great joke if in, like, whatever film the new Guardians appear, and if they carry on, like, the new roster with someone else running it, that Groot is just talking and we understand him as normal, and you just hear someone who's, like, a new character going, why is he just saying, I am Groot?
Why is he just saying,
and, like, we've kind of forgotten it almost, then we go, oh, yeah, because they've not spent, that's good, that. Like, that'd be a good joke to make. I'd love that.
That's really cheeky. Yeah, they'll have to get Vin Diesel in the sound booth for more than, like, 40 minutes. They'll actually have to get him to do some lines.
It's beautiful, beautiful. It's such a good thing. I love Drax with the kids. And I love that they play up the Drax being stupid thing, because I know that's something that Dave Bautista kind of said that he'd been a bit disappointed with over the time, that Drax had been more put like as a comedy relief thing, and he had more of a dark thing they could have gone into. Which, granted, they still didn't, but they kind of played the Drax is a dumbass kind of thing off as a bit of a joke, going, I'm not just that, I can be useful. Why didn't you just ask me if I knew the kids' language kind of thing?
Why didn't you ask me? Yeah.
That was beautiful. I
Nebula
loved that.
Was unreal as well. So everyone's brilliant in this. Like, there's not
Mantis,
one bad.
Mantis is underrated for a comedic thing, a comedic edge. Like when they're in with all spacesuits, like, let me just test. Hello, like screams into his helmet. Calling Nebula a D-head. Like there's lots of swearing in this one. I was like, more than I thought there was gonna be.
The car bit's so funny. The car bit is so funny. I laughed out loud. I
feel like an 8-year-old who just discovered Blue Smarties for the first time, because every time it's got to that bit, I've been like going, he's gonna say the F word. I don't know why it gets me something, but it's just so funny that they kept it in. Apparently, Chris Pratt said that's not the first time he's done that. Like in every Guardians film, there's been at least one moment where he said the F bomb, and they've just cut it because it didn't work. And it's funny because I feel like in this scene they didn't need it in there.
Absolutely not. But it adds to the scene so much.
The other ones, I'd be interested to see the other takes and just suddenly find out that it would have made more sense for like the one he did in Volume 1 or something. Well, actually, he nearly did it in Volume 1, because when the collector's place blows up because the girl grabs the stone, he goes, what the and then a spark goes off in the background to cut him off. I forgot about that. But
there we go.
Apparently, James Gunn said in an interview that Kevin Feige saw the cut with him saying, open the effing door. And he went to James Gunn and went, you don't want that in there. You don't want to be known as the first director that put an F-bomb in an MCU film. And James Gunn went, are you kidding? That's exactly what I want. We're keeping it in.
Yes, I do. Thank you very much.
So that's just, it's such a brilliant moment. Because I'd seen the clip before the film came out. And like,
did they release that?
It was beeped on him saying open the... But I was like, they've not bleeped his mouth, and you can quite clearly see saying the F word. And then I saw next to it, like, this will be uncensored in the film, and I was like,
oh,
Chris Pratt, Honey, sweetie baby, you're growing up. Like, oh, wow.
Naughty. Naughty boy. Yeah,
so the comedic edge, like you were saying about 80% of the jokes landed, I honestly couldn't name a joke that I didn't think landed, honestly. But that might just be me enjoying the humor more.
I don't know. There was just, I've only seen it once. It'd be hard to pick out examples, but I kind of
watch
knew
another 5 times, and then we'll do the going in there.
Episode. I feel like the replayability of this film will be quite high for me. There's a lot I want to delve into, but my favorite scene of this entire film is a character that we haven't actually talked about during this, and as a character I was concerned about going into this film was Gamora. Because they had to obviously change what was going on, because we have this new alternate timeline Gamora that doesn't know anything, like didn't spend any time with the Guardians. She's a Ravenger, and I feel like they did that really, really well. That James Gunn saw that was like, okay, this is an interesting storytelling opportunity, and my preconceived notion was, yeah, she'll get to love the Guardians, she'll kiss Quill and they'll all go off together and it'll be a happy ever after. And I respect the heck out of them that that's not what they did. And my favorite absolute scene was just at the end there when Gamora's about to leave with the Ravengers or whatever, and her and Quill have that final exchange, and she was like, you know what? I bet we were fun or something, and that just ripped my heart out. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I'm still not who you wanted me to be. And he's like, I know, and he's accepted it now. Like, that Gamora being there is a way for him to process his grief, not to suddenly fall back onto the romance.
Absolutely. I would have put money on them, having a kiss at the end, and, her being like, is there room for one more in this ship?
There was the moment where he was lying on top of them when the Bowie, cockpit bit, by the way, I loved that the ship's called the Bowie, but when that, cockpit bit blew up, like, when they were looking at each other, I was like, they're a bit close there.
Something's going to happen. But no, they didn't. And I honestly respect them for that. And that was a far more satisfying conclusion for her character. And, it kind of gave Peter Quill that peace, be like, you really aren't the woman I loved. You're very close to it, but I don't think it's going to happen. And so I respect it.
Everyone's splitting up.
Oh, I was in absolute shambles. I didn't realize how much I cared about these characters until that moment at the end. I was like, oh wow, the band is really splitting up.
Well, the thing was, in the first film, because we got to the end and Drax still hadn't died, and I was still thinking, is he going to die? I was so worried that in the last segment someone was just going to suddenly die, or it was going to fast forward to say that somebody died or something, that I didn't properly process the ending. So when I went the second time, and everyone was splitting up and they were all dancing to Florence the Machine, I literally was crying for about 10 minutes straight.
Oh,
not even an underestimation, because I'd properly registered that they were all splitting up, and I was just gone. That's probably the only other time I've probably cried that much in a film was Tony's death in Endgame, because that I was just constantly crying. But I was like that with Guardians. There were about 3 or 4 moments in the 10-minute span where I went to kind of gather myself and then was like.
Yeah,
when it gets
it's very well done. It's a very well done production.
Waving Mantis away,
Yeah, that was just rough. It pulls on your heartstrings, mate.
It's sad.
Pulls on your heartstrings.
And let's just discuss one final bit, because I want your opinion on this.
Okay.
What do you think about James Gunn casting his wife in his project again?
I saw all this discourse as well. I mean, I don't mind. I think she's fine. I don't care. I mean, there's so many other people in this movie that James Gunn. It's just James Gunn's regular. Nathan Fillion was great in it. Pete Davidson was there apparently.
He had a tiny voice cameo. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I couldn't care.
What about Ratcatcher?
Ratcat, the pink lady. She was fine.
You spotted that was her. Yeah.
Well, I know only retrospectively. If someone hadn't made such a big rant on Twitter about James Gunn's wife being in the film, I probably would not have known. Oh, Troy, you haven't even mentioned James Gunn in your Twitter.
We haven't. Yeah.
You need to tell people about that.
All right. So I put out a tweet that reviewed Guardians Volume 3. And James Gunn liked it, replied with a hands, like a thank you thing, and it basically made the review explode. It's got 1,800 likes. It's got 120,000 views across Twitter. It took that Star Wars tier list and went, all right, in the bin. But The thing that made me realize that it like got like started hitting the Twitter algorithm was that people started replying, going, "James Gunn, put this person in Superman. James Gunn, what's going on with Superman?"
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Gosh.
And I was just like, "Oh
Welcome
no, here
to
we
Twitter.
go. Is this what he deals with every day? Oh my god."
He 100% does, and he's very active, and he'd see so much crap.
But he legit, he saw that. Then I tweeted out that I'd made a video on it, and he liked that again. I don't think he retweeted it. He just like liked it. Yeah, he just liked it, but that gave it 100 likes. People just seeing that James Gunn had liked something. Like,
nice.
He just leapt on my stuff, and I was like, "That's very cool. Thank you very much, Mr. Gunn."
That is wild. That is
You also
crazy.
see me recreate Nebula's pose from the poster when I went to see it the second time around.
Oh, I just thought you were being a little bit sassy.
Oh no, I'm sending you
quite
again.
liked
I'll send you again. You can have a look against Nebula.
Send it my way.
But yeah, I love all the different cast members, like him having regulars, like Daniela Melchior. I knew she was going to be in it, and I'd forgotten. Then I saw her name in the cast list at the start, which, by the way, like, it shouldn't work just having a full song playing and Rocket walking around at the start of a film, but that works beautifully. Such a great opener.
No, it was really, really well done. And the music in it, I mean, in every Guardians film was great.
Yeah, the needle drop. I will say, all right, let's end with this. Here's an interesting question to finish off.
Yeah.
Interesting question to finish off. Which of the 3 Guardians films do you think overall has the best needle drops? The best awesome mix?
The best... Oh, Guardians 1.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Guardians 1 has got some phenomenal stuff, but I would say Guardians 2.
Well, you see, Guardians 2 is... I think it's the weakest one for me, personally.
But
We've
Craiglin
never
says
discussed this.
soup. It said while a song goes ooh ooh, like that makes it the best film of all time.
It certainly does not. It certainly does not.
I thought for a while I preferred Guardians 2 to Guardians 1 just by a tiny bit. I'm
Yeah.
not sure anymore. I think they're both on a very similar paring. I think 2 is better than a lot of people give it credit for. I think it's a fantastic film, but 3 is better than both of them. I can say that with confidence.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I have such a soft spot for the first one, and it was such a risk for them, and I really like you know, the balls of the fat doing something like that. You know,
Yeah.
it's a big risk. It's a big risk. But Guardians 2, I rewatched it before watching the third one, and I honestly, because the second act is just all dialogue. Like they were just on Ego's planet, and they're just walking around, yada, and then it's unveiled that whatever. But the third one, I just feel like the pacing was like, all right, we're on a mission. Let's go. We got to save Rocket. Go. We got to save all of these animals and be Noah's Ark.
Yeah. Everyone got a great ending. Everyone had everything perfect. That's why 3 is better for me, because there's like really good moments for every single character. There's loads of good payoffs. There's strong endings and everything.
Satisfying.
I just think it's a very satisfying conclusion. It's brilliant.
Well put, Troy.
So,
I'd like that if I was James Gunn.
I want to give it 10 out of 10, mate. So have you changed your opinion? Are you still 8.5 or?
I will stick to my 8.5. I will stick to my 8.5.
Disappointing. Let
It's
me know
a
in the
very
comments
good
below
score.
on YouTube if you're as disappointed with Crispy as I am, because I'm very disappointed in him.
No, just tell him to leave nice thoughts. Leave nice thoughts in the comments.
Leave nice thoughts, like the Guardians is better than you make it out to be.
Yeah, the 1st
I'm laughing
one.
now. No Guardians 3. And Guardians 2.
No. Absolutely
Everyone just
not.
comment Guardians 2 is better than Guardians 1 just to annoy Crispy. Thanks. But yeah, so there we go. That is the end of special episode number 6.
Oh my gosh.
We've done 6 special episodes now. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, this is a whole little mini-series right now. We could
what's
deliver
number
this
7?
to Netflix.
Yeah.
The
What's number 7?
Flash?
I think The Flash probably will be The Flash, won't it? Because we didn't do Mandalorian, because you never... What have you watched it, by the way?
Still haven't seen it. I think I watched the first 3 episodes. I'm not up to Lizzo yet, so give me time.
Oh, for goodness sake, it's about damn time. We've got The Flash early June, and then The Secret Invasion, but that starts on like June 21st, so that'll like finish in July-ish. So we can talk about that for probably number 8. I don't know if we're going to watch Ahsoka. My mum would certainly appreciate an Ahsoka special episode. Yeah, so we could do that. So we're going to have a few different ones coming out. Is there anything non-Marvel DC related coming out that we want to do a special episode on that you can think of? The Barbie movie?
Oh, maybe. I genuinely would do a Barbie movie one. Genuinely would. Yeah.
Really?
Because Shooty.
I've literally said to my mum, like, out of Barbie and Oppenheimer, if I have to choose which one I'm seeing first, I'm genuinely more interested in seeing Barbie first.
I'm Team
at this
Barbie.
point.
I'm absolutely Team Barbie.
I really am.
No
I want to
worries.
see both films,
Couldn't
but I'm like, do you
care.
know what? Yeah, Barbie.
Nah, I love Nolan.
Me too.
I love Nolan.
Yeah.
I definitely will be seeing both. I think I'll have a very jam-packed weekend that weekend. But which one am I seeing first? I'm a Barbie girl.
Barbie. Yeah, I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. And we
Absolutely.
are Who's Their Boys in a Who's Their World, who are off to go and record episode 59. So we're going to
Let's
leave
go.
it there. So thank you for listening to special episode 6, where we talk about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which is better than
Woohoo.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which is better than Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1.
Wait.
Exactly, not just to annoy you. Thank you everyone for watching.
Hang
We'll
on.
see you all on Saturday with episode 59. Until then, it's goodbye from Crispy.
Bye!
And it's goodbye from me. One last ride into the forever. See you on Saturday. Alonzi equivalent. What would the Alonzi equivalent be?
Rocket Raccoon!
Just Rocket Raccoon. Okay, until next week, Rocket Raccoon! Rocket Raccoon, really?
Yeah.
Roll the outro.
Yeah.
Roll the outro.
Go. Leave.
Go away.
Go away. I don't want to be here. Get out of here.